Hello everyone, my name is Katya and today I'm going to show you how to crochet these moon ornaments. They're a lot of fun to make. We add a pom-pom at the bottom to add a cloud. For this project I'm using number 4 medium weight yarn. I have it in 2 colors. These are leftover yarns from other projects that I worked on. You're also going to need your 4mm crochet hook. Stuffing, I'm going to be using polyfill, comb for the pom-pom, scissors, and a hot glue to glue on the pom-pom. We're going to start with the magic ring. To work on your magic ring, hold onto your yarn tail with your thumb, wrap your yarn around your 2 fingers, crisscross it in the front, hold onto your working yarn with your ring finger, insert your hook underneath the first circle, using the second circle bring out a loop, twist it, go into your working yarn and chain 1. Here we have a magic ring with the chain 1. Into this magic ring, we need to work 8 single crochets. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. This ends round 1. Go ahead and pull on this yarn tail to tighten the center. You're going to need some sort of a stitch marker for next rounds. I'm going to be using a piece of yarn. Go ahead and place it in front of the first single crochet. For round 2, we're just going to work 2 single crochets into each stitch around. So pick up your first single crochet and work 2 single crochets into that stitch. And repeat, work 2 single crochets into the next stitch. And repeat again, work 2 single crochets into the following stitch. Continue working like this, and at the end of this round you should have 16 single crochets. At the end of round 2 you should have 16 single crochets. For round 3 we're going to start by working 1 single crochet into the first stitch and then 2 single crochets into the following stitch. Repeat, work 1 single crochet into the next stitch and work 2 single crochets into the following stitch. So here's 1, and go back into that same stitch and work your second single crochet. Repeat, work 1 single crochet into the next stitch and 2 single crochets into the following stitch. Continue working like this, and at the end of this round you should have 36 single crochets. At the end of round 3 you should have 24 single crochets. For round 4 we're going to start the same way. We're going to work 1 single crochet into the first stitch and then 2 single crochets into the next stitch. Here's 1, and go back into that same stitch and work your second single crochet. Let's repeat, work 1 single crochet into the next stitch and then 2 single crochets into the following stitch. And that's the pattern. It's just working 1 single crochet into the next stitch and then 2 single crochets into the following stitch. Continue working like this, and at the end of this round you should have 36 single crochets. At the end of round 4 you should have 36 single crochets. For round 5 we're going to repeat round 4. We're going to start by working 1 single crochet into the first stitch and then 2 single crochets into the following stitch. Repeat, work 1 single crochet into the next stitch and then 2 single crochets into the following stitch. Again, 1 single crochet into the next stitch and then 2 single crochets into the following stitch. Continue working like this, and at the end of this round you should have 54 single crochets. At the end of round 5 you should have 54 single crochets. Let's move on to round 6. For round 6 we're going to work 1 single crochet into the first stitch, 1 single crochet into the next stitch, and then work 2 single crochets into the following stitch. Repeat, work 1 single crochet into the next 2 stitches. Here's 1. Go into the next stitch and work your second single crochet, and then into the following stitch work 2 single crochets. So here's 1 single crochet, and go back into that same stitch and work your second single crochet. Let's repeat, work 1 single crochet into the next 2 stitches, 1 and 2, and into the following stitch work 2 single crochets, 1, and go back into that same stitch and work your second single crochet. And that's the pattern. Is just working 1 single crochet into the next 2 stitches and then 2 single crochets into the following stitch. Continue working like this, and at the end of this round you should have 72 single crochets, and I'll meet you then. At the end of round 6 you should have 72 single crochets. For round 7 we're going to start by working 1 single crochet into the first 3 stitches. Here's 1, 2, 3, and into the following stitch work 2 single crochets. Repeat, work 1 single crochet into the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3, and into the following stitch work 2 single crochets. Repeat, work 1 single crochet into the next 3 stitches, 2 and 3, and into the following stitch work 2 single crochets. 1, and go back into that same stitch and work your second single crochet. Continue working like this, and at the end of this round you should have 90 single crochets, and I'll meet you then. At the end of round 7 you should have 90 single crochets. For round 8 we're just going to work 1 single crochet around. So here I'm going to go ahead and pick up my first stitch and work 1 single crochet, and just continue and work 1 single crochet into each stitch around, and at the end of round 8 you should have 90 single crochets. Continue working like this, and I'll meet you at the end of this round. At the end of round 8 you should have 90 single crochets. Round 9 is our last round. Let's go ahead and repeat round 8. We're going to start by working 1 single crochet into the first stitch and then 1 single crochet around. Continue working like this, 1 single crochet around, and I'll meet you at the end of round 9. At the end of round 9, this is how it looks like, and don't worry if it's like this because we are going to be folding it and slip stitching it together. To slip stitch the 2 sides together, let's go ahead and tighten the center one more time. Leave the yarn tail inside, fold it in half. Here's the last stitch that I just worked on, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up the stitch right next to it, right in the front, and then go back to the back and pick up the stitch right next to that last single crochet that we worked on and slip stitch. Now I'm using both loops. Repeat, pick up the next stitch and the stitch from the back and slip stitch together. Again, use the next set of stitches and slip stitch together, and this is pretty much it. All we're going to do is just pick up the stitches and slip stitch together to close the moon. I'm going to continue and slip stitch these 2 sides together like so. But what you want to do here is don't finish all the way. Leave about 2 inches on work because we're going to stuff our moon. And I'll show you how that's done. So continue slip stitching and right about here. So here I slip stitched the 2 sides together and I left about 2 inches on work. Let's go ahead and stuff our moon. And I'm just going to be using polyfill. I'm going to start with small amounts to start on the corner. I'm just going to go ahead and place my polyfill right as close as I can to the corner. Now remember, you don't want to overstuff it, but you get to decide how thick you want your moon to be. And I'm just going to continue and stuff it, and I'll meet you at the end to show you what to do next. Here I finished stuffing my moon, and this is how it looks like. We're going to continue and slip stitch this closed, and if we need to, we can always add more stuffing. And that's what we're going to do, is just go ahead and slip stitch the rest of the sides together. So I'm just going to hold on to it and slip stitch until the end. So continue slip stitching and I'll meet you at the end. I'm just going to pick up a little bit more and just stuff this edge right here, and that should be enough, and just continue and slip stitch. And here I'm coming to the end. I'm just going to use those 2 stitches, and then I'm going to slip stitch using the next stitch and just fasten up, cut your yarn, you are finished. Remove your hook and tighten it. Let's hide this yarn tail. We're going to pick up a couple of stitches right along where we slip stitched. Wrap it around the hook and pull through. And again, just using the stitches, wrap it around and pull through. I'm just going to go ahead and cut this. Here's our moon. Let's go ahead and work on the pom-pom. To work on the pom-pom, I'm just using white yarn, and I'm just going to wrap this yarn around my hand about 100 to 120 times. It depends how big you want your pom-pom to be. If you're having a hard time wrapping it around your hand, you can use cardboard piece about 5 inches and just wrap it around using that. I'm just going to continue and wrap my yarn around about 100 to 120 times, and then I'll meet you, and then we'll continue working on our pom-pom. Here I wrapped my yarn about 120 times, and all we're going to do is just measure. You want to make sure you like the way your pom-pom is going to look. If you want your pom-pom to be larger, you can continue and wrap more, but I'm going to stop here. And all I'm going to do is just go ahead and cut my yarn and remove this very carefully. Leave it. Now cut another piece of yarn about 12 inches long to 18. And place it right underneath this pom-pom, or going to be pom-pom. And here we're just going to make a knot right in the middle. Make it as tight as you can. Now go ahead and turn it and make another knot. I'm trying my best to make it as tight as I can. And now I'm just going to go ahead and knot it several times just to keep it together so it doesn't fall apart. Knot one more time. And I think I'm going to do it one more time. Now what we need to do is all these loops right here, we need to cut them. So I'm just going to do that off camera. I'm just going to cut them up, and then I'll show you what to do next. Once you have all your loops cut, now we need to trim them and make it as even as we can. And that's what I'm going to do, is just go ahead and cut all these extra yarn pieces and make my pom-pom as even as I can. Once you have your pom-pom trimmed, we're going to use a comb and brush out all the fibers and make it fluffier. And that's what I'll be doing, is just going to go ahead and brush out all these little pieces. And I'll meet you once I'm done. Here my pom-pom is ready, and I went ahead and I trimmed extras, and this is how it looks like. Let's go ahead and glue the pom-pom onto the moon. To glue on the pom-pom, I'm just going to add some hot glue right over here and glue it on this way, about 1 inch off from the edge right here, and that's what I'll be doing. So I'm just going to add a little bit of glue at first, just to measure it. And now just place it. And now that I like the position of it, I'm just going to glue the rest of it. Press it down and hold on to it. And I'm just going to check here, and I think I'm going to add a little bit of glue right over here. Like so. Last thing, we're just going to add a string right on top just to hang it. And I'm just going to use about 10 inches of yarn. Just go ahead and make a knot. You decide how big of a loop you want. I think this is good for me. And I'm just going to use my hook and decide where you want yours to hang. So I'm going to choose somewhere here. Using our yarn tails, wrap it around the hook, pull through. And now we're just going to hide these yarn tails inside our work. So just wrap your yarn around and pull through to hide the yarn tails. And come back different direction. Wrap it around and pull through. And one more time, just going to use a different direction. Wrap it around the hook and pull through. And I'm just going to leave the yarn tails in there. So I'm just going to push them back in with my hook. And here we have our little string to hang them. You can add beads or decorate it any way you want to. I want to thank you so much for watching this video. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.